Hi, welcome to the 1 Liter Podcast. You will watch us drinking 1 liters of beer whilst talking about shies. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the 1 Liter.
Yes. Yes.
Marlboro Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Is it Marlboro? Isn't that the same brand of those dirty cigarettes the Americans drink?
Yes, I think it is. And from the Boatshed Bay, wine
Of New Zealand. They're the cannibal people that scream and slap their bodies when
I think
opposing
so.
Australians football team, aren't
I
they?
think so, yes.
Dirty savages.
But at least it's bright and vibrant. You know? Full of tropical fruit aromas and flavours.
Oh, fancy this, Philip. Produced with milk. Traces may remain. Who in their right mind combines grapes with milk?
Oh my God.
Filthy savages.
Have the shits after this.
Well, cheers,
well.
old boy, to the 1 Liter Podcast 50th episode.
50th episode and fancy edition with Sauvignon Blanc.
That's right. We're drinking 1 liter, so we both have a bottle each. We're drinking 1 liter's worth of white wine. I myself have a little bit of ice in mine because I'm, well, not as civilized. And I was mentioning to Phil, whom also agreed that this smells much like baby vomit and poo, fresh poo out of a human's bumhole. It really is vile. It's
Look,
like a poisonous fungus.
white wine. I think rosé is worse. I'm not sure if you've ever smelt rosé.
I believe I have, but I never smell this dirty.
Nah, rosé, man. Rosé is the worst for me. I smell that and I'm like, oh, it's like a child has just vomited. It's
Yeah.
like a baby that you're carrying and trying to get to sleep, and it's vomited on your shoulder, and you're like, rosé.
Yeah.
That's literally what
Someone
think of.
you're walking past an alcoholic. He's like, hey, man, I've noticed you got a bit of baby vomit. Let me slap that up for you. Hey, that's some rosé you got there.
Different colors, but same.
He's like, hey, maybe next time I see you, squirt a little bit of Italian red on there.
It's weird because the smell doesn't match the taste. That's not often the case, right? With foods or drinks. Like, I feel like you always smell it and you're like, I can smell what that's going to taste like. Whereas this, that's not what it tastes like. This, I don't know. It's
Parmesan.
Parmesan is
Parmesan is the only exception. You smell that, you're like, I'm about to eat some straight up offal. And then it's like, hey, this is a tasty spice.
Do you know what I was saying the other day? Do you know what gives me weird vibes? Kale. Do you like kale?
I love kale. I love lightly roasting kale as well.
Yes, like
So good.
in the air fryer and it's like crispy.
Yeah.
It still gives me off milk vibes.
Really?
The smell of it, it's got that slight sourness to it.
I don't really smell it.
And then the taste, a little bit of aftertaste. Next time you make kale, smell it and just think of off milk.
Maybe we got different types of noses. Maybe you got that German Shepherd nose. Maybe I got a bit of that Rottweiler nose. Because like when I smell kale, it just smells like a leafy green to me. But I'll say,
and tasty to you? Smells tasty?
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
like a Rottweiler.
When
I
I
love
s-
kale.
When I smell something, I'm on that kale gang, dog. When I smell leafy greens like lettuce, broccoli, and stuff, it doesn't necessarily smell tantalizing, but it smells that fresh, earthy, organic smell is like up there. It gives me a hard on. I love it.
Oh, that much. I like spinach, man.
Oh, spinach smells so good. Bruh.
Spinach is the smell. You could I've seen people snack it and I was like, that's weird. And then I've done it like baby spinach out of a bag and you just like eat it. I'm like, oh.
What the leaves, the actual
Yeah, the little baby spinach leaves.
Yeah, I'm not really into the leaves, bro. I'm more into the actual sheets.
The big spinach.
The sheets of spinach.
Like it's
yeah.
heavy, like you could slap
Hell
something
yeah.
with it.
Yeah. Add a lot of salt to that. I like that.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm a baby spinach guy.
It's a good thing kale's cheap though, because like when you cook that thing, that motherfucker shrinks.
Oh yeah. I've always felt like when you try to fry kale, like when I've tried to put it in like stir fries, it's the thing that just doesn't disappear. Like, when you can put spinach, you can put a ginormous bag of
gonna
spinach
shrink.
and it's going to shrink into nothing. And it's going to be all wilted and soft and mushy. Whereas kale, I just feel like keeps its structure.
Kale keeps the other vegetables and food warm in there. It's like a blanket. Like those things are getting cooked in there. It's like I'm gonna give you comfort. I'm gonna
It's
wrap
just
my
giving
arms
them a-
around you.
Just give them a warm hug.
Yeah. What's the bok
Kale
choy?
hug.
Bok choy is scary because like most Chinese restaurants, when you're having like beef and black bean and they got that bok choy in there and that shit, if you don't chew that properly, that shit gets stuck in your throat. You're gonna
Dude.
pull that out like a fur ball.
Is that the one that's like a little...
It's like the green. It looks like a celery, but with like a green leaf at the end of it.
Oh,
Is
yes,
it
I know
bok
the
choy?
one.
It's
And
bok
they
choy.
never chop it and it's always still big
It's
and
always
whole.
massive and irritating.
So you have like a little spoonful of something and then a bok choy just hanging off it and you're like
Yup.
trying to slurp it into your mouth.
Yup.
Yep. What about
Choke you, motherfucker, they say.
I think these are just like standard lettuce leaves, but san choy bao, you know the ones that
I hate
Really?
I hate the process of san chow bao
Wow.
because it's like I can never find a lettuce leaf.
Big enough or
No, not big enough that will just withstand it.
stroganoff?
Strong enough. It's always just like it's beef stroganoff, right?
Yeah, I love
You get it.
stroganoff.
You get the fillings. You'll wrap it, and then as soon as you wrap it, you get a tear.
Yeah, that's true. You try not to
You know what
wrap
san
it.
chow bao translates to?
What?
Hard fucking work.
I've read that. Yeah, I've read that. Try not to wrap it. I like load the
Hey
leaf
man, if
up.
I don't wrap it, I might have a couple of little me's running around. I can't afford that.
That's true.
She want that san chow.
Yeah. Bow.
Bow.
Yeah, kids always wrap it. Always wrap it. Especially if in doubt.
When in doubt, pull it out.
No, that's not a tactic. That's not a tactic we want to teach to the youngins.
Man, you know you've failed as a parent if their children are listening to our podcast. Mom, what's san chow bao? Can I try some?
Honey, what are you listening to? The 1 Liter podcast. I want to
Oh, is that some kind of
I want to go to the Bavarian.
Yeah.
But now they're going to want to drink sophisticated white wine.
We're flexing now. So what's on your mind, Geet?
Oh man.
Christmas is coming. What are you planning on
Christmas
doing?
is coming. It's the end of the year.
What are you going to do when you get to Brisbane? Philip and I are both going back to Brizzy for Christmas.
I can't wait to just visit some heat and Gold Coast. We're going to go. We're definitely going to go do some rock jumping.
Yeah.
We're going to jump off some cliffs into some water.
I'm looking forward to just sleeping in every day for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
That will reset my body clock.
I think I'm just going to sleep for 2 weeks, to be honest.
You come out, you're like a bear. Do you know how bears hibernate? They have to eat all like sticks and twigs and then it's like a clog for their butthole.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, they clog their butthole. yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Is
So
that-
you're just like, ah! Ah! Philip, are you all right in there? Are you still passing your clog? Ah! Yeah! I'm all right! Ah!
I didn't know that's what they did.
Sorry, I was a bit loud.
Is that a thing?
Fucking oath, that's a thing, bro.
Wow, they eat
Bears, have you seen videos of bears in the night vision of the bears scratching their backs on trees? They get low with it. Boom with it, like a boom, boom with it.
Is that why they're scratching them?
Because they're frustrated. They're living in the wilderness and they're not getting low with it. They're like, hey, man, you hear the new Jay-Z? You didn't? Of course you didn't, because we're in the fucking forest.
Yeah, bears love getting down with it. I learned that way young when I was watching The Jungle Book. Baloo's Baloo's brother.
I want to
jungle.
go to the Antarctic and I want to check out the Antarctic. I want to jump in the water and then hop back on the boat and be like, holy fuck, I did that. Oh shit. Maybe frolic among some penguins if it's the season. But I think it would be fucking so cool, terrifying, but cool at the same time to be on like a bus and then you look over or like you're off the bus and then someone like sprints past you towards the bus. And you're like, hey, Jerry. Because his name's Jerry. Where are you
Always.
running, dude? And you can't hear what he's saying because he's inaudible because he's just so scared. And you turn around like 10 meters away. It's just this starving polar bear galloping towards you.
Oh, fuck
Fucking
that
wah!
right off.
Straight to that bus. You get on the bus. Yeah.
Oh, dude. You
Claws.
die.
Its claws probably still has like seal fucking flesh underneath it.
Oh, yeah. Apparently they stank, dude. like bears in general. Polar bears probably
I
not
told
so
you that.
much. They're
I told you
constantly
that.
washing. Yeah,
I told you that.
you
I
did.
told you-
Yeah, they
But
smell
like,
them from miles away.
I reckon polar bears would smell like rotten blood and just like.
but
Do you
they're
know what?
constantly in salt water though. They're
Oh,
swimming
true.
that shit
Wait,
off.
is the Antarctic salt?
Yeah, it's all salt. It's all ocean.
You're Yeah, true. I
Yeah.
thought the salt would probably like freeze and then drop to the bottom.
You know what
Some
I was
weird
wondering
shit.
the other day? Like, how cold does it have to be for salt? Because you know how salt water, it doesn't freeze as quickly. How cold does it have to be to turn into like icebergs? Got no idea. Because like that shit's melting, but I think it's still cold down there. It's still in the negatives all the time.
Mm. It's
It's fascinating.
You see all this stuff they're saying, like Donald Trump even mentioned it. He said the Earth is warming up now, and a lot of the ice caps are melting, and everyone in global warming's freaking out. But Donald Trump and all these scientists are saying we don't have to worry about it warming up. It's going to get cold again.
Oh, yeah.
So
the
like,
warming up is like the first bit,
It's
and
the
then
first
it goes
stage.
into an ice age.
Yeah,
And it's
so-
happened plenty of times to Earth. So I think the thing is, the global warming thing is that we've accelerated it with all our carbon,
but not enough.
but like we haven't. It's going to go through a cycle regardless of whether we're polluting it or not. But I think we've probably accelerated the process quite a lot where
Yeah.
we fucked shit up.
I just scratched my nose with my middle finger because like I don't know why I didn't use my index, but like sometimes I'll adjust my glasses like that because it's just like this is the large finger, whatever.
And
And
people are looking straight at you and they're like,
I hope they
fuck?
don't think I'm giving him the finger. I wasn't
fuck,
giving you
bro?
the finger, bro.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I thought you were.
What do you have you heard? Do you know it's like 100 couple of thousand years or something until ice age, or is it like 200 years?
From now, I've got no idea. Like we're talking, like we can obviously measure with like layers on rock and stuff when there was an ice age. I
Yeah.
think it's like millions of years and shit.
Mm.
The planet goes through cold and warm cycles.
Mm.
I keep seeing these stuff. I follow these people that just do like space shit on Instagram. So I see all this stuff that's like talking about the sun and like this big hole appearing in the sun and then like the solar flares and shit coming towards Earth. And I'm like, oh my God. And then people are like, oh, the internet's going to
Solar
go out from
flares.
a solar storm or some shit.
Solar flares. Now that's scary.
Isn't it?
Do you think like, what's a movie that I could use as an example?
Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Oh, not that. Did you ever see Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Do you remember the part where she's having like dreams and visions and all the people in the park and it's just like a wave of
the
fire?
atomic bomb.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's just
And yeah.
on the fence.
And the little kids in the park are like,
Ah.
Do you think that's what do you think the solar flare would be like that? We just get incinerated? Or would it be like radiation? We'd just be like,
Yeah, I think it's more radiation. Like they're speculating that apparently it could take out like the internet but I don't know how that's supposed to work. Like, what is the internet, and why is it affected by a solar
Philip.
solar storm or solar flare?
Mm.
But do you think? I think maybe you would it like increase the UV by a lot? Like you'd walk outside and you'd suddenly be sunburnt and you're like, what the fuck? I've been here for 2 minutes.
Probably. But
We
dude,
got no idea.
the thing is like we're in the worst country for that.
Oh yeah,
'cause-
we got that big ozone hole still. Well, that's healing though, isn't it?
It is, but like if we get solar flare blow. If,
Blow.
blow. If we get solar flare,
if we get solar.
we're fucked, bro. like, it's a big thing for Australians. Any foreigners listening, it's a big thing for Australians to get into a car on a hot day. If that's the metal part of the seatbelt, if that touches you, that is a hot brand. You might as well call us cattle.
You're being branded, yeah.
Yeah. So that plus a solar flare, that'd be like a new organ. That would be inside you. That belt buckle would be. You'd be part of the car.
Exactly. If you don't move that belt buckle, that's inside you.
Yeah.
It's just gonna melt straight through you. Oh, imagine getting like proper branded by a seatbelt
Oh.
buckle.
Yeah.
That's a stupid branding.
Mm. I burnt myself the other day on the hot plate, and I'm like, that was like maybe, like you like sit there and then it takes your body,
Oh.
it takes your body, realize you go, ow, and then you run it under cold water and it still hurts for 3 hours, right?
Oh man.
Right there. But I'm thinking if you're tied down and like you're getting interrogated and someone jams a cigarette or a cigar even into your neck or even a brand, you just have to sit there and people are holding you down. You probably pass out, dude. Like
Yeah.
the pain with your nerve endings would just be like, I give up.
Ah. Isn't that one of the worst pains, like burning yourself? Or like the worst is probably what do they call it when it's from steam? Like scalding yourself?
Scolding, yeah.
Oh man, because it just goes like past the skin and it's like a deep burn.
Yeah.
Like if you ever open a lid wrong or something and you
Because it's
get
probably
that steam
boiling
just,
the fucking
oh,
blood
it's
vessel.
boiling your fucking
Your
flesh.
cells, yeah. There was that movie, the first Mummy movie. I'm not sure if you've seen it. Yeah,
No,
that's
I
right. I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen the
any of the
Mummies, bro.
Mummies.
They open up one of the.
Mummy.
They open, it's just a movie about a boy who's like can't.
Mummy.
He's like 15 years old and he can't get off his mum's tit. He's like, she's like, you're 15. You can't stop sucking the boobie anymore. Come on, eat
Dude,
it. Can I get a titty boo?
That's some real shit, man.
Yeah.
There's weird people out there.
There's some fucking weirdos out there. But in the movie, they open up a sarcophagus, and they pop it open, and I don't think it's like not sulfuric acid, but there's some kind of buildup of pressure in there, and the hala yalla walla hinga yalla wully, the locals who crack it open, it goes, and they're like, "Ah, la, la, la," and their skin's melting off them. It's crazy.
God.
So yeah, there's some weird shit out there. Some weird
Is that
shit
supposed to be
trapped
like
in caverns.
acid melting or is it like heat melting?
I think it's like the combination of pressure and air and whatever that hasn't been open for thousands of years. You know, I'll have to remember. I'll have to
evil
Google
mummy spirits or something.
Mommy.
Have you seen that guy? He does reels and he just trots through. I think I might have sent you one. He trots through like the Florida Everglades in bare feet at night and just like looks for animals and like
No,
pokes crocodiles and shit,
this guy
alligators.
sounds like a fucking psycho.
Dude, he's a fucking freak. And what he does, he goes. I figured out because I went down a big rabbit hole just scrolling through all this shit. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? But it turns out he's actually like looking for animals that are not native to the Florida Everglades, and then he catches them and like rehomes them. So, like for instance, he goes to the Amazon as well, but I think it's in the Everglades. You're not supposed to have Burmese pythons, so he tries to find like Burmese pythons, and he'll the whole running thing is like, hey, Mr. Crocodile, will you tell me? He calls crocodiles swamp puppies. He's like, this swamp puppy doesn't want to tell us where the 20-foot python is, and then he'll catch like 10 of these smaller pythons. He's like, but we got these ones. We're gonna rehome. He's a psycho, dude.
Does he feed the crocs? Do they get close to him and he like runs away?
Oh,
What does he do?
they get close to him. He touches them. Like
And
he's
they're
like, this swamp puppy's trying to check out my. He calls these bare feet swamp stompers. He's like,
That's a pretty accurate name though.
he's like splashing water shit. He's like, look, I'm attracting the swamp puppy with my swamp stompers.
It sounds pretty cool, bro.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Steve Owen's looking down and I'm like, this cunt's fucked.
Yeah, literally, dude. Like you watch his things and you're just like, Erwin wouldn't have done that. Like he yoinks all these creatures. He's like, oh, this and this snake, yoink. I'm like, oh, this and this spider, boink, and like pokes the spider and shit. I'm like, oh man.
Have you seen the dude on YouTube who deliberately gets bitten by certain poisonous things?
By venomous thing. Oh,
Not so much
that's-
venomous things, but things with really bad bites.
Oh, like painful
Have you
bites.
seen that guy? Yeah,
Nah.
like he goes, like gets bitten by these big Amazonian wasps and these big giant, like thumb-sized bull ants, dude. He gets bitten by him. He's like, here we are in the blah, blah, blah. And like treks through the jungle for a bit and then he finds one. And he's like, and like in the video, he'll be like, and here it is. Okay, here we go. And then he'll be like quiet. And you see the of the forest, and then it goes dun dun dun. He's like and he like freaks out and rolls around and shit. And he's like, and then it like flicks to him like 3 minutes later. He's like fucking drenched in sweat, and he's like, it's a lot worse than the Burmese fighting scorpion, man. Like he's just like got all these things to compare it to. Yeah.
Do you know there is a wasp. I'm pretty sure it's in California even. So my cousin as
California
Yeah.
wasps, they'll fucking kick your ass.
big time, dude, big time. So he took a photo of one and posted it on his story one time, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I Googled it. It's supposed to be the most painful sting / even thing that a human can experience. Like you could be
Whoa.
out for a week from this wasp. Like it
Like
would
a coma,
like it
almost.
would, yeah. Like it would fuck your shit up. Like it would fuck your
Right.
nerves up.
And it's in California.
And it's from a wasp, dude.
I gotta
And
check that out.
wasps are smart. Wasps remember your face. Like if you fuck with a wasp's nest, they'll remember you.
Yeah, I remember you.
They'll come and hunt you down. They're not like
I'm gonna give you enough. You
Yeah.
refuse.
they're not like bees or
Is the wasp the same as a bee, where its internal organs are detached with its stinger?
no.
They
no,
just keep
wasp,
fucking our skin.
I think what's the big version? A hornet. It must
Hornet.
be a hornet.
Yeah, it
So
would
wasps, because wasps are like the little ones, but this thing is like a hornet.
because you never see any like college football teams named after the wasp or the Hornets.
Mm,
Welcome to the Oakland Hornets, the college team. You know,
it's crazy, dude.
this poo wine isn't bad.
It's good, man. White wine is a treat, especially in hot weather.
15 smackers a bottle, bro. Can I
Really?
top you up?
Top me up.
Top me up. It's undeniable.
Katy Perry.
Katy Pooty, eh? Pooty Tang.
Booty Tang.
All right, let's come up right now. Let's come up with the funniest words we can for the female vagina. Pooty Tang's pretty funny. You choose
Have you
one.
heard that? Have you heard that
Pooty
being
Tang,
used?
yeah. Pooty Tang, yeah. It's like an African American thing. But
Is it?
try to keep it
Did
at
you
the-
just come up with it?
No.
You've used it, haven't you? You're just like, Booty Tang. You're like, no, people say that.
No.
People say that.
While
People
the-
say it all the time.
While the camera's on you, while you're trying to come up with something, let me Google Pooty Tang.
I'm not
dude.
coming up with anything.
Yes, you are.
I'm not gonna make up vulgar Pooty Tang names. Most is that a movie or
It's
a
a
show?
movie with Chris fucking Rock, bro.
Oh,
What is Pooty Tang slang for? Pooty Tang, the expression itself is slang of a way of saying pretty thing. Okay, well, I was wrong.
Oh, there you
Whether
go.
said sincerely or when ridiculing or conceiting a person.
I'm glad about that. I'm glad about it.
Pooty
Yeah,
Tang,
Pooty
bro.
Tang, pretty thing. That's good. That's good. It is an African American thing. Then you were right.
Pooty sweat. Did you ever see Tropic Thunder?
Mm.
And the
last time blackface was done.
Yeah, true. The black dude is in it, not fucking Robert Downey Jr., but the actual African American dude. He's like a rapper in it, and he's like it shows in the start all their actual careers leading up until the movie, and he's like a rapper, and he's got like a new fucking signature drink out, like 50 Cent did with that vitamin water. It's called Booty Sweat, and then later on in the movie, he's like, they're like supposed to be acting, and he's like, oh man, it's so hot in here in Vietnam. It's a good thing I poured a pack of this here Booty Sweat. And he's got like the
He's trying
drink.
to plug.
Yeah, he's trying to plug his
in the
drink.
middle of the
And then
movie.
later on the flaming dragon, the fucking opium dealers or whatever they are. Hold on,
Damn.
it's cool. They come across the campground as they left, and the guy picks up like an old can. He's like, Booty Sweat. Like reading it. I always say that to myself. Booty Sweat. Booty
Dude,
Sweat. What a sick name.
That movie, because I've only seen that ages and ages ago, and then I heard about the whole Robert Downey Jr. blackface thing, and I was like, hang on a second, how did they?
No one gave a fuck, dude.
But do you know how they got away with it? Because he wasn't actually in the movie playing a black dude.
He's
he
a white
was-
guy playing a black guy playing a.
Exactly. He was playing the actor that was playing a black guy as blackface, and I was like, that's how they got away with it. Because
True.
he's one level removed.
Man, you know what's funny? Actually, no, it's not funny at all.
Wow.
When I really put myself in the position of African American people, not African people in general.
Ooh, can you go there?
Yeah, well, let's consider it.
Okay.
When I think about the oppression that they suffered, obviously in the early, and look, I don't have any guilt towards any of this because this has nothing to do with me or you. We're in
Mm.
Australia. We have nothing to do with the black history and all that stuff, African American slaves and stuff. So I literally feel
We all have different
I can sympathize.
different lines of heritage that we
that
could
we-
feel guilty for.
Absolutely. But I have no real ties to this, and I can feel sympathy for their plight and what they went through, but I have no personal guilt, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah.
But when I think about the way how culturally like how much they've made an impact on the American society and culture with their,
Big time.
music and
Big
poetry
time.
and philosophers like Malcolm X and
And
all
how
that stuff.
disgustingly, strangely, the white Americans tried to like
Inhibit.
suppress it and like
Oh, yeah.
cancel them
Yeah,
all
yeah,
throughout
yeah.
the jazz days.
Yeah.
They're trying to take our white women and make them smoke marijuana and make
Yeah.
them deranged.
Mm.
Whereas the white women were just really fascinated by the
Something
groovy
different.
music and the fact that they were so chill and not wankers.
And like nobody, as this might even sound racist, but nobody has rhythm like black people.
oh,
Black people got the
Yeah,
most rhythm.
dude.
Like you can't get low like black people. So I attest. I look at it like this. Like I'm the youngest of my brothers, so I can't have an opinion, but I can see through their eyes the way I must have seen. And even me being an adult, or even being the older kid in primary or high school and seeing a younger kid who was like a hanger-oner, hanger-oner, like a
Ah.
lingerer.
Mhm.
It's like, do you know when like you're a teenager, right? You're a bit older. You're doing your own thing. You just want your own space, and your younger brother David comes on. You're like, "Fuck off, David. Leave me alone." Hey, Phil, you got a new sound system? You got a new car? Let me see. No, leave me alone. Stop trying to get involved.
Yeah, weird dynamics because as the older brother, I feel bad about that stuff looking back now because I'm like, oh, why didn't I just like,
Yeah, yeah,
why wasn't
yeah.
I just cooler with him? Like,
Yeah,
whereas I was like, no, I'm doing my own thing. Burr, burr, burr. I
totally.
would have been like, I'm going through puberty, chicks and stuff. Leave me alone.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. But what I'm saying, where I'm trying to get at is that I want to say black people, but then I'm going to say African Americans. It's like, I don't want to call them African Americans because they are Americans.
Mm.
So, and I don't even like using the word black, dude. Like calling me white, my skin is a creamier beige, but I'm not white.
Caucasian.
I'm Caucasian, right? So I'm just going to say black people or brown people, even whatever, or people of African descent. They must look at white people and go, you've suppressed us for all this time. We only got our rights not even 40 years ago, not really, 40 or 50 years ago, whatever. No, sorry, apologies. About 70 or 80 years ago, roughly, give or take. 60 years ago. Sorry, guys, it's the wine. And now when they're becoming popular, not so much with police or government or legislations, but their form of expression and freedom is music and culture and hip hop and dance and music and art, right?
Mm.
The only thing that really they have that seems to be fitting in society with Americans from the past. Obviously, things are better now, but like,
you mean when they were first trying to like
so obviously that was
get some recognition and shit.
exactly
it was
for
the music.
just being citizens, like
Yeah.
the only time they've ever had something to shine, and I can imagine like the white Americans, they jumped in it. They jumped in the culture. They jumped on the dance moves, the rapping, the baggy clothes, the way they speak. And it must just be like the older brother and the little brother, like, motherfucker, you're the little brother. Mom and dad care about you. You get everything. I'm the older brother. I have to be the one who has to cop shit. I finally have something of my own, and you're just going to come here and take it and make it your own? Fuck you, cunt.
And it's all just a big power dynamic that's only happened over the last few hundred years, right? Because it's only since the civilized way of living that we've brought up and everyone's now mixing, and then it created these dynamics, and then slavery became a thing because the white just were more powerful and arrogant and shit. Like they were just like, it's the same, maybe not the same, but it's a similar mindset of like the whole Nazi Germany thing. Like they just thought they were better than this religion or this race or whatever. And they think they can just overpower them and have charge over them and just make them do what they want. So it's a strange dynamic.
It bothered me about Nazi Germany that, Hitler preached this, that Aryans were like a different breed of humans and they were like the master race, right?
Yeah.
But then you had Nazis kicking down doors of non-Jewish people in Germany going, don't listen to this music. Don't read these kind of magazines. You can't have art. You
oh
can't.
man, crazy.
Dude, they were killing
times.
their own people.
Crazy. Well,
Like
yeah.
purebred Aryan people were getting killed just because they had a bit of an interest in a jazz song that came out from a French woman who may have had Jewish ancestry or something weird like that.
That's what happens when you've got a country that was broken. It was in trouble. They were a bit hopeless, and then this crazy guy
lot
just goes,
hopeless.
yeah, not a bit hopeless, but very hopeless. And then this crazy guy comes in and goes, I've got the answers. I'm going to fix it. That's probably why people are scared about the Trump situation because he's like, yeah, I'm going to make America great again, and they're like,
Who
freaking
knows
out.
what Trump's going to do? Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
My
Trump.
dad's been reading a bit of. My dad read a book about Trump recently, and when I caught up with him, he was fascinated by all the people in his cabinet and other people just like telling him how much of a fucking idiot he is, and he just fired them and all this shit. Like,
Trump did you look back on it, and he did a lot of. I don't know enough about it. I'm too fucking careless a bit to care about that in-depth politics, but apparently he did a lot of things that were quite good in terms of policies, but there's also a lot of like flow-on effect from the previous. There's always flow-on effect from the previous person in office that you can then just take credit for because things take time to show up in data. For instance, when you're collecting, data. I like to say.
I like to say data too.
You like data?
Yeah,
I'm a data.
Say data.
Data.
Say data.
Data. When you're collecting data.
Download the code data.
When you're collecting the data of the economy, like there's going to be a flow-on delay of when things actually show up to become better because when you're fixing things, they slowly will improve. So he did a lot of decent things apparently, but he's also just him as a human is very divisive. That's the whole problem. He's just very much like,
he's a greasy shit.
we're the good ones. They're trying to take us down. Let's divide the country and fight each other.
I think that you guys, yeah.
The best.
When I think about back to Nazi Germany though, because it's such an entertaining topic. So World War One, they signed the Armistice, right?
That was the issue, wasn't it? Because they were in a fuck ton of debt as a country.
Yeah. And
struggling.
Just Americans, more typical Americans, they rocked up a bit later, like let's just like the weight of the world against them, you know. But here's the thing, right? So the armistice is signed, and essentially Germany's the fingers pointed at Germany, and they say, Germany, you're going to pay all the reparations for war, everything. You're paying for it. Fuck you. Germany's in debt. They're broke. People are going hungry. Jobs are just out the fucking window. I do believe that a lot, not all, but a lot of the Jewish businesses stayed afloat. There was a lot of German Jews, Hungarian Jews, Bavarian Jews, Austrian Jews who fought for their country, fought bravely and won awards. Never got any recognition because it didn't fit into Hitler's circle, right? Like Iron Cross award winners, like honorable Jewish Deutsch. But so I think that pissed off a lot of people as well. It's just like these fuckers, you know, they kept their jobs. You've still got all your sons.
And they all had like very tight-knit communities as well. So they all looked after each other in that sense too.
Like Adam told us, right? Like that's what they do.
Exactly. If you have a business, you're going to go use that business because it's part of your community rather than going elsewhere.
I'll tell you why Germany mainly fell with Hitler especially. And you got to really think about the climate in Germany at the time was just like mass depression, right? Not only mass depression, but anger. Because a lot of these soldiers who fought were just bitter. Because some of them maybe thought we can keep going. We're exhausted, but we can keep going if we only had the right this, and this, right? And then not to mention they're just getting shit piled on them. You lost. You're pathetic. You lost your job. Your enemies, your brothers, right? Your friends. Like imagine if you and me are in the trenches and you're like, this is Joel. He's my brother. You know, like we're in the fucking trenches, and I got shot in the head by a fucking Frenchman. And then days later, Germany signed the peace treaty, the armistice.
You're like, okay, it's all done.
And then
we're the losers.
And then we're having to pay money to the people who shot me in the face. You know how angry you'd be?
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah, here we are being angry that the borders were closed for COVID and we couldn't go to Queensland.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
some different level of anger
that's
right
like
there.
a quarter of an anger compared to theirs.
Exactly.
Right?
Theirs would just be unfathomable.
So then you've got those men who came back from the war and female nurses or whatever who would have had to treat these people,
Mm.
and they've all got children.
Mm.
So their children are all 12, 13, 14, 15 at this point in time, if they hadn't already had the kids when they went to war in the First World War. So those kids are just growing up hearing just the father grinding
it's not
his
even
teeth.
just hearing, but
it's seeing it.
Yeah, you're
physically.
yeah, exactly. It's not just hearing, but it's being passed along well and truly.
Oh yeah.
Just with behaviors and everything.
Totally. And it's what, 20, 30 years since. So it's just like so fresh still, right?
Mhm.
Hits of the 80s. So fresh. And here's my example. Here's my example, right?
We're so fresh in the 80s. I think I remember that
So
from
fresh.
our days.
Hits of the 1930s.
The So Fresh CDs.
So
Oh my God, this has got Britney Spears on it.
it had like 8 lame songs. I never owned one. So
What was even on them?
I don't know.
All I remember, all I can think of
Bye.
it. Oh, NSYNC and Britney Spears for sure.
There was heaps of them, dude. They released them every year, every month or so.
Bye.
But here's the thing, right? Here's my best example so everyone can relate. Me, Phil, and everyone listening. Let's say we all work in a company where we have to put bricks on a wheelbarrow and push it from here to the other end of a football field, for instance. It's 100 meters, right?
Mhm.
Empty it out, take the wheelbarrow back. We've been doing this for years. All of a sudden, a new boss comes along and says, we're getting rid of the wheelbarrows. You got to carry it by hand. But you got to have 500 bricks at the other end by 3 hours, or you all get fired or you're getting paid fuck all. It's like, bro, I can't do this by hand. So you're just back-breaking, exhausting labor. Out of nowhere, this random dude rocks up and says, fuck this cunt. Let's get your fucking wheelbarrow back. Scratch that. Let's give you 2 wheelbarrows back. That was Hitler.
Mm.
Hitler said, fuck this. We're not paying reparations to these cunts anymore. We're not going to be a poor country anymore. We're not going to only have a tiny military like we were supposed to. We're bringing the military back. Everyone's getting jobs. We're not paying money to these other governments. Fuck you. We're taking Germany back to what it is. We don't know you cunt shit. And that's what Hitler did. So everything we just mentioned earlier about angry fathers who fought in the First World War, their bitter young children who have got secondhand hatred, the depression, etc. This guy comes along and says, "We're going to give you back what you want." What are you going to do?
Yeah,
and feeds this hatred towards Jewish people.
Yeah, so I was going to say that. So first he solidifies himself with that, gets all the following, and then he says, this is what's causing the issue. These people are bad. You should hate these people. And so they all just followed.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing, how easily people are manipulated when in dire situations or when there's hate around or when there's frustration and hopelessness. And then someone says, I've got hope, but these are the bad guys. That's the scary thing, man.
Bro, there was so many rich people who funded Hitler in the beginning.
Big time.
So originally Hitler was the puppet, right? Those people were, old money people were like, we want this, this, and this. And then Hitler just became too large.
Yeah, but I think he went in agreeing to be the puppet, right? Because he knew his master plan.
Of course.
Right? He had a plan.
You got to wonder, I wonder if he was still being, I want to say, I wonder if he was still being dictated then. But, man, I think Hitler's complete trust and devotion to his country is one of the downfalls of him. Because, fuck, man. The Germans were about 60 Ks from Moscow. And they came to a standstill. This is just before the winter came. They came to a standstill. If Germany kept fighting and took Russia and took Moscow and then somehow were reinforced, and then when the Russian reinforcements came, they were somehow able to defeat them, bro, we'd be speaking German. We'd be speaking Japanese.
Dude, this
in this
is
country.
a very somehow, though, right?
Because the Russian reserves are crazy.
Yeah, there was no way they were taking Moscow.
Oh, well, that's the thing. Again, before the winter came, Hitler decided to divert his troops to Stalingrad. And
So
the German Sixth Army got surrounded. And Hitler said...
This is where people question...
The German Sixth Army could have retreated at some point and they could afford another
Yeah.
day, and Hitler said, "No, you're staying."
Yeah. This is where people question
Yeah,
whether
sorry.
he knew that it was over. Like he had no chance because he was just being irrational at that point. And
He was always irrational, dude.
yeah, but this is literally where people point out like he could have done this and X, Y, Z could have happened, but he was just like, no, keep this going. And he was just making silly decisions at the end. And then you question, was he actually trying to win it? Or was he actually just trying to
Leave a
cause
mark.
chaos and be remembered?
Mm. I think
Peterson says that. I think
think it would-
Jordan Peterson says if chaos was the outcome, you have to question whether maybe chaos was the goal all along.
I think by the end of it, I think Hitler was ready to just have every German die. If Germany died and every last person with German blood in them died, that was fine because they will live on in infamy as a species of human that a race of humans that just were defiant till the end from their own beliefs, right? I think that's what he wanted because like he was living in the bunker, bro. He was putting medals on kids who were destroying Russian tanks that were in Berlin at the time. It's crazy.
He's a psycho, man.
I'm sorry, dude. We totally went off tangent, but these are the conversations I love to talk about because, like,
oh yeah, we went deep into the Second World War. But on a lighter note, like,
let's move on.
On a lighter note, New Year's, new year, new me, right?
Yeah.
New year, new me.
Oh yeah, we got to break the news to our cohort.
No, we did that last time. We were saying we were going to do no booze, but that's the plan, right?
So Jeff, I was going to call you Jeff.
Jeff, wow, congratulations, Jeff.
Sorry, I was going to say we need to tell Jeff as well because like. You're not going to be in Brisbane because I said like it's going to be difficult because once New Year's is over, I'll still be in Brisbane for a couple of weeks, and it's just like if people still want to drink, then it's scary. But people are going back to work.
We said we never.
Phil and I are going to stop drinking from January to March for 3 months.
We never said January 1st. I said because I'm going to be
chippy.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Brisbane for another week after that as well. So if I'm with family and stuff, we're going to have to sit rum and beers. So
why don't we go from March to April then?
No, that's way too late. I'm talking about once we're back in Sydney in Jan.
Stop.
From there, just clean.
Okay.
Clean up the act. You're just pushing it back. You're like, instead of January to March, why don't we start in March?
Well, I'm all about absolutes. I'm like a Sith Lord, right? So it's just like, if I say January 1st, I'm not drinking.
January 15th then.
And then it'd have to be March the 15th, right?
Yeah, sure.
But I want the whole month of March.
Jan, Feb. Yeah, well, you don't have to stop in March then. Do till the end of March.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard enough.
Chowa, yeah.
It's going to be 2.5 months. It's like 2.5 men, but months.
Do you put
Charlie Sheen?
Do you prefer smooth or crunchy peanut butter?
I'll admit, I'm not huge.
It's all about the smooth. Crunchy destroys the bread.
No, I would go crunchy, so fuck you. But I'm not a big peanut butter guy. Not a big
Bro, why would you go crunchy over smooth?
It's just more exciting.
When you're
it's
spreading
probably
it destroys the bread.
Yeah, but I don't spread much, so I don't.
You spread your ass, man.
So
get wired on me and spread your knowledge.
Peanut butter, not my favorite thing. But if I'm going to do it, make it exciting and put some crunchy in there. Like, when are you having peanut butter? Tell me. Tell me when you're having peanut butter.
Obviously I don't eat as much bread these days, but...
Do you know what the most peanut butter I've had is?
Almost all the time, dude. I eat more peanut butter than Vegemite, and if I'm making a smoothie, I will put peanut butter in it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's healthy fats.
I was going to say the last time I've had peanut butter and the most times I've had peanut butter in most recent years would be if I'm mixing like oats and I'll put peanut butter, oats, honey, whatever, protein powder, hot water, make a porridge,
Well, Philip.
By that I mean porridge, okay?
I got
not raging poo.
Pussies get fucked by dicks. But dicks also fuck assholes, Chuck. Oh, we have some very exciting news. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please, Philip? Back in 2008, we filmed a YouTube little trailer called Killer Kennedy, right? Not long after that, we filmed a second one, Killer Kennedy 2, where Philip brought out some of the best special effects I've ever seen at the time. Still holds up to today.
Woo.
So we
It was just a trailer. We went to film the second version of this short video. What would you call it? It's not even a short film. It was like 5 minutes.
as a commercial
skit.
Yeah, as a skit.
We went to
It was a
film
skit.
the second version of this skit, which is going to be longer. We filmed a few scenes.
Smoking caps.
And then we never got back to filming. So I was like, I'm going to use this footage. And I just cut together some scenes and it became this epic trailer of the number 2 of Killer Kennedy, which was fucking awesome.
So good. Phil will put the link in the Spotify video. So what we're going to do when we go back to Brisbane, we've got half of the team who we were doing it with, and we've all gathered together. And it sounds like if we can pull everyone together at the same time, because everyone's got kids and all this shit, we're going to film a third, maybe like, what is it, 15 years later?
15, yeah, pretty much 15 years. Isn't that crazy?
Mm.
Just when you said that, I was thinking about it. Like we're like adults now. Like, oh yeah, our friends have got kids and stuff. If we can
Yeah.
get some time with them, maybe we can do some filming.
It's
Here we
crazy.
are. We're just rogue, aren't we?
Do you
We're
know
just these rogue dudes. Just like
Fuck yeah.
we still have time, man. We do
I-
podcasts. We don't have kids.
I think it's a couple of things. I think for you, yours is more intellect and just being more intelligent about your surroundings and what you want to do. Oh, sorry. But at the same time, I think it's, and especially in my circumstance, and I think yours as well, we're very creative people. And I think we don't conform to what is expected of us. You know, we're like, we're a bit more considered. We look to
But
the
we
future.
do at the same time. It's a weird little
Yeah,
fucking
it's like-
weird realm
It
that we
keeps
live
us
in.
grounded, but it's not. I think the idea of that we need to get married, we need to have a 6-figure job, we need to have a nice house and a mortgage and kids eventually. I think that keeps us grounded, but at the same time, we still have room to fuck around. You know? Would
Yeah.
you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel you saying like my intellect and knowing what I want to do and stuff, it's a tough thing because when you have a slightly, I don't even want to say like
Slightly big cock.
when you're slightly German, when you have a slightly creative mind, and the reason I say slightly is because I don't want to be like, I'm a creative artist, man. I'm a struggling artist because I'm still doing a 9-to-5 job and trying to do well at it. So it's not 100% of me trying to be this struggling artist, but at the same time, there's this realm that we live in where it's like we're never 100% satisfied because we're like, I want to be doing more creative things rather than
Bingo.
working.
Bingo.
So it's a strange place to be. Whereas I'm sure everyone's got their own weird struggles where they don't like what they're doing. And I read something the other day that 85% of the Western population don't like their jobs or hate their jobs or dislike their jobs, don't like going to work. That is a huge number. So just to think that is like, oh, great, I'm just part of 85% of people. Great. But like, I feel like there's different reasons for everyone. Like some people might just be like, I hate my job, but I'm just going to do it. And then I'm going to go home and watch TV. And there's other people.
Bingo.
Yeah. And there's other
This is
people
the difference between you and I, though. Not the difference between you and I, between us and them.
I don't want to put myself on too much of a pedestal here though, because I'm not like,
No, you can.
I'm only doing good things in
You
my spare
can.
time because I also like to just chill out.
Yeah. But here's the difference. Again, I think a reason why we fall into comfort easier than some of these people who may just go home and watch TV as a norm is because we know we have the ability to be standout, but we're just lazy. Philip, think about
That's
it.
terrible though. That's terrible.
I've gone, my job, the current job I have now, I film videos for them sometimes. So Fridays I'll film like an update video and I'll add my own effects. Or there was a competition at work who could sing this best song, and I wrote the lyrics, recorded it here with you, showed them, filmed
that
the
was
whole
great.
thing.
Yeah.
These people were showering me with praise.
They
Oh
got
my
no
God,
idea.
you're so amazing. This is and I realized at that point in time, I was like, I don't think it's that these people lack creativity, which absolutely they do. It's just people just don't have the ambition to perform and to entertain.
It's that, and the fact that we have to realize that probably in the 90s, 90 something percent of people won't know anywhere near as much as of creating media things like we do, creating content things like what we do. Like the people that we're watching on the internet, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, they're a tiny percentage of people, but they get all the views. And we're watching them going, oh my God, why is my content not as good as theirs? They're a tiny percent of people. So when we make something that we think is amateur because we're comparing ourselves to the 1% that are getting all the views on social media, we're like, oh yeah, whatever. This is like not that great, but we just whipped it up. To the other 95% of people, that is amazing because they'll never even think of or be able to do that. So when we made that little rap or the little video that you did for your work, everyone's just mind blown because they're like, oh my God, someone can do this and they're working in a normal job. Because people just have this
Yes,
disconnect where
yes.
they think these people are different people that do YouTube and things. They don't live in the real world and we're just the real world people. But there's a whole realm in between of like that 5% of people that like to be creative. We're not on the peak level where we can produce things like what gets millions of views on YouTube every day, but we're in that in between where we're like, oh, if we put our 100% effort into it,
Would be
maybe
gold.
we could do something, but it would be a risk we'd have to take because we'd have to give up time and energy of hanging out with friends, doing other things,
Yeah,
doing our jobs.
yeah. That's one thing I'm not interested in is regretting in the future. Like,
Regrets.
so Philip and I were listening to my old band just before we started recording, and
Skills, dude.
at the time, I just wasn't interested in it. Didn't care, wasn't interested. Same thing as high school, right? You're at high school, you don't want to be there, and then when you're older, you're speaking to somebody,
You're
you're
like, oh my God, high school was
wish
the
I could-
best.
just wish I could go back and have learnt more.
And
you know?
do you remember your parents being like, this will be the best time of your life. Like, just fucking enjoy high school. And I'm like, fuck you, man.
My parents never said
I
that.
fucking hate this.
My parents
I
never
hate
said
school.
that, dude. Yeah.
Okay, maybe not my parents, but I remember seeing people be like, school is like the best time of my
I
life. And I'm like,
peaked. Yeah.
I hate school. I don't want to do this. And now you look back and you're like, oh my God, how easy was it?
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm grateful because I was 23 years old. I just finished my time playing with bands. I was out of that band I showed you, and I tried to start up a couple of other bands. I did, and they flaked out. And I said, man, all my life I thought if I was going to be in a band eventually, if I got to a point where people knew me, I could transition into film. And I just sat there one day and went, I'm not doing this for the right reasons. I love music. I love performing. I loved it. I loved every minute of rehearsing with my bands.
Mm.
Loved every minute of it. Loved the camaraderie. I loved every minute of it, and I would never regret any of it, despite how I felt in the end about performing as a musician, which I would love to go back to. But I knew acting was my passion, right? So when I decided to bite the bullet and try to study acting, it was the most terrified I've been in my entire life. I'm
That's
talking
big, man.
I'm talking more scared than a fucking polar bear chasing me. Like that's immediate scare. But
It's
this was
different
like,
scared. It's like that unknown, unsecure scared. You're like, what the fuck am I
Yeah.
doing? I'm going to
Yeah.
go back to learning something and then
Mm.
like giving up hours of my life that I could be going to work a job or something.
yeah. And I chose to get a job at this pharmaceutical company that I hated, absolutely hated. It's what made me lose my hair. My eyes went to shit. Constant stress, no lights, uh, s- or like fake lights all the time, bad hours. KPIs were crazy, just stressing 4 years straight. Lost my hair. My eyesight went to shit because I was this close from a screen. Like it was just bad times. But I worked that job to fund my acting. And at that point in time, it was this is I've tried laboring, I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this. I don't care about studying psychology or getting a trade or anything like this is what I want to do. So I'm going to completely submit to this. And I did, right?
And
I
this is
said,
like, this is at slightly older too. It's not like you went out of
23,
high
bro.
school, so
Yeah.
you've already had time
Yeah.
out of high school and you've gone back to studying. That's a big move.
Mm.
So I've always thought about it. Like, I'm like, fuck, should I go study like music production to be more
Studying doesn't
legit
get you
and
anywhere,
professional?
bro. Doesn't
So
get
I
you
was like,
anywhere.
well, I haven't done it.
Don't bother. But the thing was, on top of that fear that I had of the unknown, there was, oh man, most actors make it when they're 15 to 18. Like I'm 23 now. I'm too old.
Is that most?
Some, like the actors I was looking at.
Yeah.
And then there was that. And then there was the fact that I had full tattoos. You never see completely tattooed actors unless they're like Johnny Depp, who've been doing it since they were younger. So like started to get my tattoos removed for that. This is how committed I was to my dream, right? I completely YOLO'd it. It was around the time YOLO came out and I was like, fucking YOLO's right. You only live once, I'm going to fucking do it. And if I die trying, then at least I died trying, right? And I got prepped. I auditioned, got into the school, got all the tuition, everything sorted out. And I was like, holy fuck, I'm going to do this. And my biggest fear after that, all the hard yards of getting it ready was done. My biggest fear after that was like, I thought everyone at this college that I went to, I thought everyone would have been trained as an actor since they were like 10 and they were going to be pro as fuck. I've always been the loud, outgoing kid and I was able to like recite things and do voices and imitate things really well. But I thought, holy fuck, I'm going to get there and be the
noob. Yeah.
I'm going to be the oldest dude in the class. I'm going to be the dude with tattoos and I'm going to be the fucking noob. And I got there and everyone was practically shitter than me. Not shitter than me, but we were equally as shit. And I wasn't the oldest person there.
Wow.
And then
what a relief, right?
Oh, dude.
What an environment to get into then. You're just like, oh, liberated. Liberated.
And for fucking 5 years, dude, I lived acting. I did theater, I did commercials, I did short films, I did student films. I left work early to do auditions 4 or 5 times a month. I prepared for roles. I performed in front of randoms. I did voices, practiced everything. Came to Sydney in the peak, well, not the peak, but the tail end of COVID to pursue it. Like I did and have continued to do what I set out to do. And I feel just talking about it now, a complete accomplishment. I'm not done by any means. And until I'm holding a fucking golden statue in my hand, will I be able to sleep good at night? But I feel like it's like someone saying, let's go bungee jumping. And then you sit there and go, no way, I can't do it. And then you sit there for the next 20 years of your life regretting it. And then that one friend who went bungee jumping has done 20 times more extreme things that you totally envy. And then you say, I've wasted my life and that regret. And I can safely say that the one thing that I've always wanted to do with my life, I have no regrets about.
Nice.
And so anything else in my life is just a bonus, you know?
Fucking beautiful.
Fuck yeah, cheers. I just gave you a fucking soliloquy, bro.
Love that. Right, let's wrap this bitch up.
For the Emperor and Sanguinius, baby.
The fancy episode of the 1 Liter Podcast. Happy 50th episode.
Happy 50th, guys. Listen, please, even if you're one of our avid listeners, just put something in the comments on our Spotify. We want to hear what you're saying. If there's any topics you want to talk about, something random, let us know. Marlboro, Sauvignon Blanc, Bosch Champagne. Je suis